In this video, I'll show you how to add some internal details to our tessellation. I'll also show you how we can import some drawings to speed up the process, and how to use the paint bucket tool and the brush tools to fill in our shape with some color. You might have noticed in the last video that I had an additional layer. In this layer, I had imported an image. I did this because I wanted to show you how you could too. It helps save us some time and can help define kind of the theme of our artwork. In this case, I'm importing an image I created that was derived off of a lotus symbol, which is a fairly traditional Hindu and Indian symbol. To do this, all you have to do is go to File, Add Image. You also might want to make sure that you're selected on a new layer, so that way we don't overwrite any previous work we've done. And then find and select the image you wish to add. Depending on the image, it may or may not have a white background or a non-transparent background at the least, so you might have to cut that out. If you do import an image like I did, you might have to resize it too, using the Select tool and then the Scale tool. To do it, simply click on the center of the wheel and drag your cursor down to make it smaller. You can also move your image around by using the outer circle or the move circle. Now I'm going to begin adding extra details using the Free Draw tool and a brush tool. I'll be adding these kind of curved lines to help accentuate my curved edges already. And hopefully, once this is tessellated, it'll have kind of a spiral pattern. Depending on the style and theme of your tessellation, this stage may consist of drawing patterns like I am, or maybe adding extra details to give the tessellated shape an impression that it is some other object. Alright, my line work is now finished. It might look a little sloppy right now, but that'll be okay, because once we make this smaller and copy it many times over, it'll be hard to catch such fine detail. Now we're going to want to begin adding colors. To do this, we'll be using the paint bucket tool, and also I'll make some color swatches up in the top right. I already have a couple of colors that I want to use, but I'm going to need more of these tans and browns. To make these color swatches, I've just been using a fairly large brush tool, selecting colors, and then adding them to the corner up in the top right. This will just help me color my object so I have some reference colors. The next step will be using the paint bucket tool. I'll select it from the toolbar on the left, and then, while holding Alt on my keyboard, I can click on the color that I want. This is the eyedropper tool. You can also select it from the color window. I'll then merge the layers together by clicking on the topmost one and telling it to merge down, and then I can begin filling in the spaces with this color. To do it, I simply click on an open space, and it'll fill it in with that color. I'm going to remain symmetric, not that you have to for this, mind you, but I'm just going to color each one of these outside spaces with the same color. I'm going to select my next color once again by holding Alt and then clicking on it. This will select our color. And I'll go ahead and color in a couple more details. I'll do this again and again with different sets of colors until I'm satisfied with the coloring of this shape. By now you probably have noticed those white dots in the corners of our shapes. This is because the paint bucket tool couldn't make it all the way there. To fill these in, I'm simply just going to use a brush, change its size so it's nice and small, and then use the Alt function of your keyboard or the eyedropper to select the near color that I want to color it as, and I'll just paint it in. Once again, these details will be fairly not noticeable once we make it very small. But if you do want to be extra neat about it, you can always paint over a spot and then go back and touch up the outline. I'll just go through and do that for the rest of these white dots. Now that all the detail work is done on our shape, I'm just going to go ahead and erase our color palette in the top right so it doesn't get in our way in the next steps. I'll just use a very large eraser tool for this. There we go. And now we're ready to tessellate this.